Matt, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How's pre-season going?
Rough. Nah, obviously I joined the fellas a little late, so they're in a bit better shape than I am. Personally, I think it was a bit evident, although the stats didn't show it, but I think it was evident in the game that we had over in Bulgaria. But yeah, I'd only been with the team a week and a half to 2 weeks, so just trying to get, my legs underneath me, get my wind back, and get into game shape and playing.
Let's start on that. Last week you played in the Basketball Champions League qualifiers, falling short to Neptunas. You know, you were bright, probably the brightest spark of the game. I think a game as a spectator that could have gone either way. Having 16 and 9, you know, a controversial foul call away from probably winning the game. What are your thoughts on the game?
Neptunas, from a historical standpoint, are a good team. Everybody's talking about them not having any Americans and going with a straight Lithuanian squad, but it's the kind of teams that they usually have. I think usually in the past they only had one American or whatever, maybe just to shore up a certain position or something. But the type of team that they are, they know what they're going to do. They're well drilled, as most Lithuanian teams are. Obviously, it being a powerhouse sport in their country. For us, it was more, I think, we're still learning each other. We're still trying to gel. Obviously, guys have played at different levels. I'm not going to shy away from the fact, obviously, we have a couple of ex NBA players on the team. So, obviously, we know the talent's there. As people say, some of the best are British. Myself, Justin, guys like that have grown up in the British system, gone over to the States and played professionally overseas and now playing back at home. So obviously we know on paper probably we had a more talented team, but that's not always how it goes. I think on paper you wouldn't have the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals right now, but as a team and the way that they run their system and they know everything and they're in tune mentally, physically, and everything that goes on with their team. Like obviously they are where they are, and I kind of think that's how the game kind of went. We was able to do the right things to stay in the game. Talent wise, I think kept us there, but overall, just them knowing their system, that are knowing obviously how European basketball is played, how you get different calls from different referees and whatnot, played a part in it. But I think it was just the first step. It's tough when you're going into international competition and it's a one and done. I think that was going to be the scariest thing about the whole situation because if it was a two-game home and away series, you can kind of feel it out and get it going over the first 40 minutes. Imagine if obviously it wasn't at their home, but imagine obviously we played the game, an away game, and now we were coming back to the copper box with a 4 point lower, and we had an aggregate score of over 2 games. It would be something that we'd be confident in, and obviously being able to play with them and know that regardless of their history and the things that they have done as a club in the Champions League and in European basketball, that we'd be able to play with them, and we kind of understood it more.
When I was talking to a couple of my friends, you know, I felt like you lot were maybe a bit hard done by the fact that the format changed because, you know, when you play a team once and then you have to play them again, you know, in a two-legged affair, you kind of get a feel for them the first time, and then usually that does actually favour the team that loses the first game. To be honest, if history is anything to go by, but yeah, you know, I was really impressed. You know, I think you were definitely the standout. I won't lie, I was a bit worried, you know, when you had your first two
The
free
first
throws.
couple.
We have to talk about it,
I'm not shy. I won't shy away from anything.
man.
I won't shy
Yo,
away from anything. If I'm
oh
being
man.
honest, I was talking to a couple of the guys. Obviously, Jules didn't travel with us, and that was literally the first thing he spoke about when I see him. I'm like, "What's up, Jules?" He's like, "Fam, like, what's going on, G?" But like I said, even like the first couple of days, I know it might sound, but people don't understand. Like when you get to a certain level, not everything's the same. So like literally my legs were gone like the first couple of minutes of the game. Obviously you want to be up and amped and do whatever you got to do for it, and obviously I was coming off the bench and trying to get all my juices flowing and going, but after I'd gone up and down a few times, me I think, like I said, personally, I think it was evident. Anybody that knows me, forget the free throws, but even my first two misses, I think obviously that one I got fouled, I think I should have made, but obviously I think I had another up and under move, and I literally missed a wide open layup, which was obviously uncharacteristic of me in the post. So like my legs were just gone, my wind wasn't there. I was just kind of waiting. Obviously, it didn't help with Curve Bristol having foul trouble, but I needed to get out to come back in and get my second wind. I think once that had happened, obviously it was evident in the second half. Like I was good, but I think I played an 8 or 9 minute stretch in the first half where I was in without a sub and as well as figure things out. Obviously, like I said, we'd only practiced a week and a half, 2 weeks with the guys and trying to obviously still understand what everybody's roles are and what guys like to do, what they can't do, what they dislike to do, whatever it may be. And just it felt like jelly legs as soon as I got to the foul line. The first one obviously was off right, and then the second one obviously rimmed out. But once I kind of settled down and got kind of in the flow of the game, I think I was back to the regular me.
Do you feel like coming in as a late addition, there was maybe an additional pressure for yourself?
Anybody that knows me, I'm confident in my game, confident in my skills. I know what I bring to the table. Obviously, playing professional. This is my 10th season as a pro. I kind of know what I bring to the table. A lot of people might see it as cocky or arrogance sometimes, but to me, it's just confidence. You have to play the game with a slight edge of confidence. Like you can't be passive. You can't be complacent in your skills or what you believe you bring to the table. So I knew that, and that's no disrespect to any of the guys that they have on the team or had on the squad before me. I just thought that I would be able to be an addition and help with what's going on. Some of the guys at the big position are young, haven't played at some of the top levels in Europe, played at maybe second division and clubs and whatever it may be. But you know, obviously throughout my career, I played in Pro A in France, in the BBL in Germany, League One in Turkey, obviously the Adriatic League. So like these type teams, like such as Neptunas, are the caliber of teams, and obviously in all these leagues that I'm talking about, you have EuroLeague teams and Euro Cup and Euro Challenge, what it used to be, teams that I've played against. So I kind of knew what to expect when it came to Champions League. Justin did a hell of a job in the first half, controlling the tempo of the game. I know we made our mistakes, but obviously I think he had maybe 10 points or something at halftime. Out of, I don't know, I think we had 37 or 38 at halftime, so a quarter of the team's points himself, keeping us in the game and keeping the right flow and everything. And then obviously Byron was solid again in the first half. Kevin was attacking all game, and in the second half, myself, Joe was able to, you know, come in and do some work and keep the game within reason. And obviously we was up in the third and in the fourth, and just not being able to close it out. Obviously, as we said, like it's a very talented team that we have. I think everybody knows that, but it's a different style of play to the regular European game. So it's just going to be a contrast of styles, regardless if it's not now Champions League, but FIBA Europe Cup, or even the teams that we play in this competition now. It's going to be a contrast of games and being able to overpower and show our game and is able to outwork their game. I think with myself coming in, what I bring to the table kind of helps reinforce that. I don't think we have or had a guy that we could go to on the block whenever things are running slow. If we're not able to fast break, or if we're not getting stuff in transition, we have obviously great guards, a lot of guards that can score. But I don't think we had in the half court game, which is to me necessity in Europe. Somebody 100%. That you can throw in and cause double teams or create open shots for other guys, not just drive penetration.
So let's touch on obviously the FIBA Europe Cup. For people who might not be familiar with how it works, you know, the FIBA Europe Cup is the fourth tier of European basketball, of the inter-European basketball competition that does feature, you know, some pretty strong opposition. I guess what's been the word now, you know, in camp about, you know, the approach to the FIBA Europe Cup and, you know, having to wait till January to play your next, I guess, European game?
Just staying focused and staying the course. We're just obviously having that conversation that our goals have changed now, obviously. However, it doesn't mean we still haven't got lofty goals ahead of us. I'm a different person. I think I posted or I tweeted maybe a few days or 2 or 3 days after the loss that obviously the new challenge or the new goals for myself is, as a team, obviously, to win the FIBA Europe Cup. We know that the talent that we have on the squad is obviously going to be one of the better teams in the whole tournament. So now it's just about showing that we can obviously win games in Europe. And with that being said, go deep into this tournament. Obviously, people know, or you can tell obviously by the roster, that people are not expecting, I could say, but expecting us to be dominant within the BBL and all the different cups, trophies, league, playoffs, whatever within the BBL. And obviously that is our mindset. But it's about not being complacent. And when it comes to Europe as well, with the travel schedule, that will change obviously for us come January once we're traveling to Europe and back midweek and playing in other games. It's about not settling and not being complacent and thinking, oh, we're only playing a BBL game, this weekend versus obviously having a European game during the midweek. So it's just about staying ready, staying active, not getting complacent and not settling. Like, instead of winning close games, we want to be beating teams by 20 and 30 so guys can rest, guys can do whatever they have to do. So when the guys are needed for, the bigger games, that we're ready and able and rested too.